Tonight's guest is a duo called Project Constellation. Santiago and Christina were kind enough to give us a really fun interview, a track from their album, and 2 live performances in our tiny apartment. And if that wasn't enough, Christina used her mad graphic art skills to make this awesome Red Monk and Wolf Girl logo that you're looking at. So thanks, guys, and enjoy the show.
Okay, you ready? This one's called Lullaby. We can start on a C, take it to the F and the G. Once you can follow me, I'll just add a nice melody. Hey, now sing me a song about how life goes on. Don't you worry if you get it wrong, 'cause we've got all night long. Build it up so we can get loud, even when we play for a crowd. Make it simple, like 1, 2, 3, and then add a high harmony. Hey, now sing me a song about how life goes on. Don't you worry if you get it wrong, 'cause we've got all night long. Hey, now sing me a song about how life goes on. Don't you worry if you get it wrong, 'cause we've got all night long. Hey, now sing me a song about how life goes on. Don't you worry if you get it wrong, 'cause we've got all night long. Hey, now sing me a song about how life goes on. Don't you worry if you get it wrong, 'cause we've got all night long. Hey, now sing me a song about how life goes on. Don't you worry if you get it wrong, 'cause we've got all night long. Hey, now sing me a song about how life goes on. Don't you worry if you get it wrong, 'cause we've got all night long. Thanks.
All right, everybody, welcome to the latest podcast of Red Monk and Wolf Girl. And we have today Project Constellation. And your names are Christina and Santiago.
Yippers,
Yes.
peppers.
Awesome. And we're going a little bit out of the box here because you guys are from Grand Forks, right?
Yeah.
I used to live in Grand Forks too, so I'm a transplant here myself.
Yeah.
But and I came up in the Grand Forks music scene. But you guys
yeah.
come down here a lot, and we've seen you at the open mic, and you guys play gigs everywhere.
Yeah.
And,
we try to, yeah.
We're calling you part of the Fargo Moorhead music
Thank
scene
you.
because it's regional.
Appreciate it.
You guys are in a suburb of Fargo now.
Well, there's not much. I mean, as far as we know, there's not a lot going on in Grand Forks. They're trying to introduce stuff, and more venues are trying to do live music again. But I don't know, or maybe they just don't like us.
Oh no!
I don't know. There's only a handful full of places. There's not like Fargo where there's like a plethora of
Right.
venues.
Right.
So I guess that would be. When did you live there? If
Well,
we turn the tables here.
not
But the
quite
fo-
10 years ago
Okay.
when I moved.
'Cause
Like
when we-
7 years ago.
Oh, okay. Because when we started playing about it, well, exactly a year ago now, a lot of people were saying like, "Oh, it used to be so much better back in the day, and there used to be da 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 da, and this other place, and this other place, and oh, they don't do music anymore," or, you know. So you probably did get to see that. We've only heard of it because we only just moved to Grand Forks a couple of years ago. So we're
That did happen. Yes. Yes. I used to play at the
yeah.
Blue Moose for like by myself
I've
for like
heard of
300
that.
bucks.
Oh, Blue Moose of music?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
somebody mentioned
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I remember. Was that's the pizza joint there, or am I thinking? Of something
Oh
else?
no. Next to the pizza place, Mike's Pizza. It's over in East Grand Forks, like right
Is
across
this
the
the movie
river.
theater?
What's the pizza?
And next
I
to
think
the
I thought
movie
I thought somebody mentioned like a Northern Pizza or something like that.
Oh, the Northern. We haven't played there. We were supposed to play there, and they cut off the music too.
Yeah, see,
Oh,
that's
We
what
were
I mean.
booked, in fact.
See, that's
and
what I
they
mean.
got-
Yeah.
yeah.
We've only heard of this. This is, it's just that thing. It's like Atlantis.
Oh.
Everybody claims to have seen it, but
What a comparison.
I know
Nice.
Grand Forks to Atlantis.
There was magic there? What?
yeah, Grand
Music?
Forks to
Yeah,
Atlantis.
right.
Yeah,
But Grand Forks used to be really hopping.
that's what everybody
Yeah.
says. Yeah,
from the 70s up through the 90s, and then it kind of fizzled
Right.
out. But
And that's why we do lots of road trips and whatnot, because other places have more music.
yeah.
So, I mean, we're happy to, like, Half Brothers for doing music and, like, other places
To
like
give
that.
shout
but-
outs.
Yeah.
Ember.
Yeah.
Right.
Woohoo. Ember. And
And-
Sledsters is trying to.
Sledsters, yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying to do an open mic. They closed it right now for, like, winter and whatnot,
Oh, they
because,
did.
no one wants to come out when it's, like, negative something outside.
Yeah. That could,
But
that could,
I
yeah.
hope it comes back.
They're trying to set up music. They contacted us a few days ago about doing like an actual show. So we're hoping that's gonna start. And then there's like all the festivals. We played quite a few in the summer.
Make Grand Forks musical again.
That's our
Yes.
hashtag.
Yeah.
Really?
That's a joke
We've
hashtag, yeah.
been trying, but you know,
Listen to us. We haven't even started the interview yet.
Oh, dear.
we're good at yapping.
What do you got? Do you want to?
Well, I was wondering, where did you guys live before Grand Forks?
You go first. Okay.
Well, I lived in Winnipeg, Canada, by
Oh.
way of Sweden, by way of Romania. My dad's from Chile. That's where I get the name from. But I moved to Grand Forks due to my soon-to-be ex-wife, which is what we were talking about before
Oh.
you hit record. I'm in the process right now.
It's recording now.
Can't talk much about that. No, I'm just joking. Anyways,
Yeah,
and then her similar story.
yeah, right. Our ex is yeah, okay, whatever. But I was born and raised in California, and I've moved a lot. I finished high school in Indiana actually, and then my ex-husband was in the Navy, so I moved to like South Carolina, New York, Connecticut, where my son was born, Virginia, like moved like 1 month after having a kid. Oh, hey, you get to move.
Oh,
and
geez.
like almost no help, with moving, and then not being able to really walk on top of that. That was stressful. And then we moved back to Indiana to be close to my parents, and then my family moved up here, and then we moved up here to be close to them. So, and then within Grand Forks, I moved 3 times. Apartments, house, apartments. So
Really?
it's a little stressful and tired of moving, but yeah,
Enough.
there you go.
Enough
Yes,
moving.
enough. Done.
That's how we wound up in Grand Forks.
Yep. There.
Cool.
2 words or less.
Yep. Oh gosh.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Well, you got the first official question, so. if
First
you
official
wanna-
question
The official goal. Wow.
is when and why did you start playing? I will go with you, Santiago, first.
You mean in general or just
Yeah,
in
when
the
and why
band?
did you start playing?
Oh dear.
At all.
Yeah, I would have been 13, and I used to be into old school rap, like back in the 80s and early
Nice.
90s. So, and then at some point, you remember how like all Beastie Boys and all them started using guitars and things like that in their rap? So I was like, oh, that's cool. Like maybe I should learn how to play the guitar and be more like that. And remember, Public Enemy did that song with Pantera. I mean, I don't even know how old you guys are. Maybe you guys I'm like, no, it was before
I'm
my
a lot
time.
older than she is.
It doesn't. Okay.
Nothing wrong
I'm
with
42. She's 27.
Okay, so there you go. So you'd remember those
I do.
early 90s.
I absolutely
late 80s,
remember that.
early 90s. Yeah, yeah. So anyways, and that it was literally like that. It was like as a cool thing, just hey, I was into like all that rap and stuff. So anyway, so I got a guitar. I was around 13 and yeah, I just started playing. Then I got into more like, of course, the grunge stuff and all that stuff that was popular
Right.
in those days.
That was
And-
huge.
Yeah. So that's how it started, and then of course I started I started playing like more professionally. Started making a living, and then I moved to Canada. And when I moved to Canada in the early 2000s, there was a lot of that post grunge, like the Canadian rock as it was called. I don't know if you've heard of Theory of a Dead Man and.
Yeah.
Okay, so that kind of stuff, and I got into a band that was very similar to that, and we had a bunch of songs out on the local radio stations, played TV shows, and anyways,
Cool.
that's again in short. And then I stopped playing for almost a decade because I thought I was gonna be married and happy and have a family and all that fun stuff, and then that didn't pan out, and now back they try to get out and they pull me back in.
That was Michael
Godfather.
Corleone.
That's Godfather reference.
We read the book, but we didn't.
Oh.
She ain't watched the movie yet. She didn't want to watch it because it doesn't have Nino Valenti in it.
Oh.
Like he's in the book, but he's not in the movie.
Okay.
Ah.
I've seen the movie. That's again. This would have been about 30 years ago. I've seen them, but I don't. I just know that that's such a funny quote.
Right? That's part 3. They keep pulling me back in.
Because it fits in with so many things in life, doesn't it?
Right.
People trying to retire and then coming out of retirement or whatever, or like crazy exes that keep popping up. It's like, why are you guys dating again? It's like, I try to leave her, but she pulls me right back in.
Oh no.
Gosh.
Anyways, you're up. Batter
Okay,
up.
for
Yeah,
music,
Christina. Yes.
when I was little, I mean, it's my I grew up in California, so my dad, he used to work at Disneyland, and so I went there a lot as a kid, so I'm kind of spoiled in that way. But one of the first movies I saw was Fantasia, like the old Disney one,
Right.
and that's what made me want to play violin. Because I love the
Oh, neat.
music, and that was one of my favorite movies as a kid. So I told my mom when I was like 4, I was like, I want to play violin, and mom's like, well, you can play piano. And so when my brother and I are like less than 2 years apart, and so she got us a piano, and she wanted us to play that first. And then we grew up learning piano, and then we could transfer to whatever instrument we wanted, but she just wanted a piano in the house, and she still has it, to be fair. So it works. But yeah, so I eventually got into violin, and then I played violin in middle school and high school. And from there, I got married, so I stopped playing. And then, yeah, it was kind of like, it's actually my ex-husband's idea. He was like, oh, hey,
yeah.
we should do some music. And then we started
Oh, wow.
inviting friends over to do music.
And I was one of them.
Yeah, and that's what happened.
That's what got me to come out of retirement. I forgot about that.
Really?
I pulled you out of
Yeah.
retirement because it was like, hey, we're trying to do some songs and get back into playing instruments. My ex-husband
That's
played
right.
banjo.
Well,
I mean, he
Playing
did 2
banjo,
songs,
I was
but
gonna
yeah.
say, that's a generous statement.
Yeah, I know, but okay. He wouldn't even memorize chords. Like, oh my gosh. But there's a lot of whatever. But long story short, we started playing music. We haven't stopped since. And yeah, that's,
Very cool.
good things have come from that.
Yeah.
Very good things. So,
Yes.
yep.
And you guys are all over the place. I mean, I look at your posts and you're like, you play lots of gigs. You cross the border to play
Yeah.
gigs, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we were just in
Winnipeg.
Canada yesterday.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
We're
Yeah.
going back in March. Well, yeah, that's when I used to, like, I still have a contact with some of the people that are still in the scene. Shout out to Witch Police Radio,
I was gonna say, yeah,
who
Sam.
always puts us on. Sam Thompson, really much into local art. He's a lot into local artists and things like that. And I mean, just in general, we I kept in touch, with some people there, and so it's not quite the same as it was obviously 15 plus years ago, but that's still fun. And then yeah, Bismarck, as we were mentioning earlier,
Yeah.
we go there every so often. Minot.
I was born in Minot.
Really?
Really?
Yep. I was, yeah.
But you didn't stick around. Obviously.
No, just till very young, like first grade.
Oh, I was gonna start
believe.
naming a drop name it.
Don't
worry there.
I go back there. I haven't lately, but I've played the Rocking Horse like a million times. It's over by the fairgrounds.
Ooh, okay.
It's got its own band house next door, It's it's kind of a country bar.
Like that's a place we'll have to look into.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what it's
there
like
and
now.
then
Write
some
that
day.
down.
Yeah,
somewhere.
we're going there in Gripfest.
Okay.
Are you okay with us name dropping and like
Yes.
promoting other? Okay, I wasn't sure if it was that thing like other festivals are available,
Right. This is
other podcasts are available,
it's a
other
not for
beverages
profit.
are. Was that?
So I'm saying it's not for profit.
All right.
We just
cool.
do it for fun and to
Cool,
meet people
yeah.
and to it's
Yeah.
always a learning experience to have a podcast. So
Because we every so often we've done things like that where they give you like a list of things to avoid.
You can't
like
do
TV
this.
shows.
Really?
Say that. Or,
Well, yeah,
yeah.
because like you can't talk about call for action, so you can't even say like come and see our show. Da 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 da. You're supposed to say like, well, there will be a show, and you know what I mean,
And
or
here's
things
the
like that, or like
location, time. That's it. You can't be like, hey, come see it, or
yeah,
oh,
or
hey.
talk about bodily fluids and things like that. So it's like, and you just kind of like, yeah, but what if you're supposed to say like, oh, I was so nervous, I was bricks, and it's like
Right.
that's already like it's like I don't know.
Censored, yeah.
Some places are I guess are more. I don't know you guys' setup.
it's totally uncensored. Whatever you guys want to do.
Well,
if you want to
then.
get gross, if you want to get gross, go ahead.
No.
But
Yeah, we are really gross, me and Christina.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yep.
Anyways, next question.
yeah.
So this is back to Santiago.
Okay, here we go.
What's the first song you ever learned how to play?
La Bamba.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Well, my
play
dad
that.
was that.
Yeah, I play that.
No.
Well, next open mic, we should totally do it.
Yes.
Then. No, he's my dad. Being Latino and stuff like that. He wasn't a guitar player as such or a musician. He had a guitar as long as I can remember, and pretty much he knew like 2-3 chords, and that was the closest to like a full song that he knew.
Really?
So that was like when I got my electric guitar when I was 13, as I mentioned previously. Like that was sort of the first thing he taught me. Like he sort of figured out that riff to show me the do 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 do,
That's
and then
so
like
sweet.
the 3 chords, which he didn't even play like proper chords. Later I, because he would just kind of play them all weird. Like the F chord all, and the G chord I think he played. I can't remember now, but it was some kind of random fingering. He wasn't a musician, as I said. He wasn't formally trained. He just happened to have a guitar, and
Right.
So yeah, that was the first song I ever learned. Believe it or not.
Neat.
Nice. What about you, Christina?
My gosh, it's probably gonna be something lame like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, whatever they have when you're like learning piano and like lesson 1 of Suzuki, whatever. So it's probably I'm pretty sure it's like the really simple stuff. Oh gosh, do I remember those names of those? Yeah, it's probably along those lines, just like whatever is in the Suzuki books, and then. What was it? Eine kleine Nachtmusik. I remember learning
yeah.
that with my brother. That was the first duet I did with my brother on the piano. That was pretty
Really?
fun. Yeah.
Oh, neat.
So
That's cool.
that stuff like that. So
Eine kleine Nachtmusik was the first.
Let's go with that.
yep, sure.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yep, that one. Yeah.
Yes.
It's not as cool as like pop songs. It's like oh yeah, whatever. More
It
classical
is cool
music.
though.
Yeah.
I love classical music actually.
Beethoven and Bach are great.
Yes. Yes.
Anything with organ music is like it's one of the most amazing, powerful instruments ever.
Oh, you like
And-
the organ? You
Oh,
like
yeah.
church organ?
Yeah.
Like all them knobs and buttons.
Oh my gosh.
And like 10 keyboards they can.
I've only been able to like tinker around with one, never actually like fully play a song, but like I love the sound from it. It's so amazing.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Neat. Okay, so what's the last song, Santiago, that you learned? Oh, sorry, that you listened to by choice. What was the last song you listened to that you wanted to hear?
Wow. Not including our original, I take it.
I could help you
If
out with that.
What?
One of the songs we learned.
I was gonna say I didn't want to be pretentious, like, wow, I only listen to my own stuff. Well,
We were learning Rehab. Like was that like one of the last
Oh.
ones? Because I mean that was recent, so
and of course you don't mean like because it was on the radio and we were driving. So no, like actually, yeah, because we've been learning some covers and stuff. So yeah, it would be like probably Rehab that we gelled with Mustang Sally.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we've done like a medley, and we're gonna add some more stuff to the. So I'm not gonna name those songs because that's gonna be a spoiler alert.
okay.
But let's just say you're gonna hear decades worth of music in one long medley at one point.
Oh,
Don't know
really?
when.
The whole point is to replace Sweet Home Alabama because that's like everyone knows that
Every
song.
so often we play like places
Yep.
where they want more covers. Not very often, but
Really?
it happens. And I used to play in cover bands for decades because it's good money.
Right.
The flip side to that is like there's like the staple 3-4 songs like Sweet Home Alabama and Brown Eyed Girl
Yep.
that you kind of have to do. So we're trying to get away from that. I mean, luckily, as I was gone for 10 years and now come back into the music, it does seem like scene is a little bit different. It's not so like format based, like, or at least not where we've played. So you can
Right.
get away with more obscure covers, and that's why we do things like Rehab by Amy Winehouse,
Yeah.
and then Mustang Sally, Wilson Pickett. You know what I mean? So and medleying the two works pretty good. So
Neat.
anyways, that was probably the last thing that I consciously listened to. There you go.
There you go. What about you, Christina?
Okay, gonna get really nerdy here. I really like the Final Fantasy 15 soundtrack.
Really?
I love Yoko Shimomura as a composer. Her music is amazing and godlike. So when you have like a choir and orchestra together, it just sounds incredible. So I love like some of the boss themes and whatever. They're just cool. And then I love the Vitamin String Quartet. They
yeah.
they take different like popular songs, they just make it into like a classical music style. So one of the last songs from them I listened to was from Portal, like the Aperture Science song. Like okay, it's a video game, but it's like the end theme.
Christina, he has a life. Okay?
I'm sorry. Okay, well, see, I like video games, but I don't have time to play them, so I like listening to the soundtracks. I'm sorry.
Christina, from now on, just say like I don't know, something by the Beatles.
I love
You're
the
right.
Beatles,
Nobody's gonna
but
understand
I'm
your
being
references.
honest. I'm being honest here.
You know the song that plays when you win against the last boss in Super Mario? That song. Like, you know that.
Some people will. Those people exist. They will know.
Yeah,
But-
well, you exist, but that doesn't mean most people get them.
These are honest answers, not answers they want to hear. So there's a difference. So yes, I listen to video game soundtracks a lot. So
Nice.
I
That's awesome.
really liked the first Kingdom Hearts that came out. Played that many times over, and I liked Simple and Clean.
yes. Oh yeah, that's a good song. The entire soundtrack. Oh, the Hall Bastion theme. Like that's one of the coolest like world music for. I just love how it sounds. But yeah, Simple and Clean's a great song. Yeah, see, she gets it. See, there's someone else right there.
You guys, this is so much fun.
So our next question, Santiago, you mentioned your dad was kind of like an amateur musician. Is
Yeah.
anybody else in your family play music?
I know my mom. Actually, my mom was more classically trained when she grew up in Eastern Europe, and I know my grandma was very talented. She had very bad arthritis, so she could barely move her hands by the age of 15 or 16, whatever. But she would, even in her late 80s, she would try to sort of play. So I would say there's probably a bit of a musical gene coming from that end. I don't really know too much far back in my family. We moved from Eastern Europe when I was very, very young, and we would only go for the first 10 plus years or so. It was all communism, so you didn't really go back. So we kind of lost touch a lot. But I do know that and I have a cousin who's in some metal band out there nowadays. That's right, I forgot about that. So yeah, I would. There's probably like some, at least let's say hobby-ish level musicians out there, but not like anybody. I would probably, as far as I know, I'm probably the only one who's done it like where I've done it full time at some point and earned a living from it. Probably, as far as I know, anyways.
Cool. What about you, Christina? Anybody in your family? Or
Well, my dad, he used to be in a band back in high school. I think it was was it Project November or November Project? I mix them around, but either way, that's kind of where we took the word project.
You keep saying
Well,
that,
it's
but
one
it's
of
not.
them. Well, there's several ways. There's several stories around that, but that was one of the things that I tossed
I only
in there.
found that out like a year later on.
You forgot that conversation, I swear.
I never knew.
He
that.
forgot.
No,
Yes.
I have a totally different.
Unless I talked to Faith about it,
Anyways,
not you.
finish your story.
Okay.
Finish your
so
story.
okay, I'm sorry. So there was my dad, and then my siblings are actually pretty musically inclined. So my sister has a pretty like good natural singing voice, and she plays uke. My brother plays guitar. He swears he can't sing, but I feel like he could if he like just I don't know worked harder at it or whatever. So I don't know, but yeah. aside from that, I don't really know too much anyone else in the extended family who really plays music. I just have a lot of like artists in the family, so that's like one of my great uncles worked for Disney and like Disney
Really?
theme, and he knew the person who did the final design for the Little Mermaid, Ariel's character, stuff like
Oh my
that.
gosh.
So yeah, there's I mean, in California we have connections there, if you will. So there's that, but aside from that, I don't know much about the musical history for family. So yeah, there you go.
Cool.
Interesting.
All right, so I think it is time for a musical break.
Yeah, let's do that.
I wish I was a singer in a rock and roll band. I wish I could tell stories about Rome and this land. But wishes can't be held on to, they're like grains of sand. I wish I had a penny for every day that passed. Days I'll never see again, days that would last. But days that can't be held on to, they go by so fast. I wish I could remember all the friends I've ever had. Some of them made me happy, while some of them made me sad. But friendships come and go, both good and bad. Hey! I wish I could run faster than the wind will ever blow. I would follow my spirits as far as it would go. But running's not the answer. Running's not the answer. Feeling low. Running's not the answer. Running's never the answer when you're feeling low. Hey! I wish I was a singer in a rock and roll band.
What famous musicians do you admire and have learned from?
Oh,
Who are your influences?
well, back in the day, I would have probably said more like Nirvana and Beatles, and you know, yeah. I mean, that's probably where I really started learning music, was listening to the things of the time. The presidents of the United States of
Yes.
America. I remember loving them like
Right.
crazy. But no, and then of course I've gone through, like jazz periods in my life, especially when I was working full time with music and things like that. Anything from jazz to heavy metal to it's been a huge mixture, but I would say that was probably
Cool.
my start off point was more like, the classic stuff like the Beatles and Elvis and that,
Right?
So
Cool. Can't argue with that. How about you,
Yeah.
Christina?
I mean, going back to Fantasia, all those classic songs, you have, Beethoven in there, Bach, like
Stravinsky.
Yeah, exactly, right? Tchaikovsky, Mozart, like all those definitely. And then even then, the Beatles, because they had string orchestras like Eleanor Rigby. That's one of
Right.
my favorite songs. I love how it sounds. So yeah, definitely all that. I mean, it's pretty simple. I don't know a whole lot of other bands that incorporate orchestras. Oasis does sometimes. Yeah, Oasis does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love that sound, that entire mixture. It's pretty cool.
Neat.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, yeah,
there you go.
because when we started writing our own stuff, and we used some of my olders to fill up the set when we became just a duo. A lot of my stuff was written back in the '90s and was very influenced by Oasis and stuff like that. So
Okay.
there's a lot of, I was like, oh yeah, like listen to this, listen to that. You know, it's more modern than the Beatles. I mean, it is the Beatles, but in the '90s.
Yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
Beatles,
Yeah,
the rebooted
you know,
Beatles.
but you know, I mean, and so yeah, and then we started getting compared to, Ghost Mice was one of the bands we were getting compared to. There's like a punk duo with guitar and
Oh, yeah.
violin, and then
Yeah.
what are you called? Defiance, Ohio is one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been more, but I just can't think of their names. And then so we've kind of listened to that to be like, oh, okay, like to get an idea of how do you work with just a violin and a guitar, you know, unless you're like a Celtic duo or something, or, you know, or
Right.
something very specific, like a classical, you know, like how do you work that into more contemporary things, you know? That
Right.
works.
It's super fun. I mean, you guys, nobody else brings a violin out that I've seen
To
for
open-
sure.
yeah.
And plus, you got is it a 7-string?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
It's
got a
a,
little bit
you
of
guys
bass
have
in there, like
Yeah.
fuller sound.
Yeah.
very unique sound.
He has a
you guys.
7-string. I have a 5-string violin, so it's actually a viola
Oh,
and
really?
a violin in one. So I
Oh,
can
neat.
have like a low C viola string.
Oh yeah.
So it's
Cool.
a little bit, yeah, we both odd, instruments for strings.
Just odd
Right.
people in
Extra
general.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
Odd
That's
people.
true. Can't deny it. Definitely not.
That's very cool.
So before I ask my question, can we just take a quick break? Can I show her your violin that your uncle made?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's in the closet, right?
Actually, I think it's just on the back wall there. Now. I have I never met him, but I have a great uncle from Norway. He was a homesteader way back in the day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh wow.
And him and his brother
It's not.
were instrument makers.
That's so cool, though.
It's actually not even properly strung at the moment. It doesn't have a bridge on
I was
it.
going to say.
You can see
so neat. Look at that.
This should
some
be-
of it's new, like the fingerboard and the tuners are new, and the bridge,
okay.
or not the bridge, but the tailpiece.
Yeah.
strings,
But the
obviously.
wood is all original, and the headstock is original.
Look at
I was
that.
gonna say,
That's
like,
so cool.
You guys should be using gloves when you handle this.
Yeah, right.
Jeez.
I really want to someday have it fixed up and playable again.
That
but
is beautiful.
That was my great uncle Andrew made that. Andrew Wilbur.
Wow.
But yeah, one of these days my uncle gave me that with the idea that I would come back eventually playing it one day,
Oh,
you know. But I
see.
haven't quite got there yet.
That's all right. Violin's a slightly masochistic instrument.
Masochistic?
Yeah, you have to practice it a lot. Like a lot.
Right.
You know, it's
I can't even make the bow make a damn noise.
we have to rosin the bow
Yeah, the rosin.
in order to make the noise. So
Just like the song says.
I remember when I was little, like the first time I got my violin, I went straight to like put the bow on. I was like, it's broken. It's not making any noise. I was like, we got a defective one. It's like, oh wait, you have to rosin it. Okay, but I remember I just remember like my heart dropping. Like, did I break it already? Like, what did I do? So yeah, that was like, well, gosh, what was I, like 7? So
Right?
yeah. It's
Well, I tell
funny.
you, I still can't do it, so I don't know what the deal is with that.
Well, I think anyone can. It's just practice. That's all. Because I'm not even like the most amazing violinist. Just being honest, I'm not. Like, but I just want to do our songs well. But it's still like
Yeah,
you
that's where it
always
is,
learn
right?
something new, and like at least it's fun. Like for some of our songs, like shifting up is a bit difficult too. But I mean, just practice. So
Right?
that anyone can do anything if you practice hard enough,
Practice.
right? Believe in yourself. All that stuff. All those cliche sayings.
Right?
Just hard work. Nose to the grindstone.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm done ranting. Next question.
Okay, so
Are we
Santiago,
recording? Sorry.
It's all, yeah.
Okay.
It's rolling.
We're rolling.
I'm like timekeeper here.
Right?
Santiago, did you have any music teachers?
Oh yes. I mean, at first I was self-taught, but later I actually studied at a private sort of music high school in Stockholm, Sweden. And
Wow.
so pretty much all subjects in school were music related, whether it was theory or playing an ensemble or composition, things like that. So yes, no, for a very long time, I was formally. I know you can't tell now, maybe when you hear me play, but at one point, at one point, I would spend hours and hours a day rehearsing and practicing and improving my craft and learning theory. But yes, definitely,
Nice.
very much so.
I'm curious, how many languages do you speak?
None.
That's not true.
Where did that question come from?
I don't know. I just wonder because if you were living in Sweden.
Yeah, no, I thought maybe.
Oh, did I brag? Right? Not this time. I didn't say anything.
No, I do speak quite a few. Nowadays I work as a phone interpreter. So I do, I think, 5 or 6 languages. I can't remember. I grew up speaking a lot of languages as a child. And then I've forgotten a few now that I don't really practice them as much. But I think it's 5 or 6. I'd have to think. Because I don't really do Spanish anymore. That was apparently the first language I ever learned. But I learned, my grandma and my mom are polyglots. And so that's where I get that from. So they all spoke tons of languages. And yeah, just growing up with it, I guess I was lucky in that sense. I didn't really have to study, I taught myself languages later in life. That's why I say I can't keep track of all. Because I would, when I was in my 20s, I started teaching myself. I taught myself Portuguese and Italian for sure. And later in life, I was sort of conversational in some Slavic languages, just from, like those books you can find at libraries, and with the tapes. Well, nowadays it's probably CDs or MP3 or I don't know. But, so I would sit and do that for fun.
Smarty pants.
No, I love languages. I'm working on German and Spanish.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
German's fun. I went to when I first started school, I went to private, German immersion school in Stockholm. So my first 3 years of school was all in German, like all lessons,
Really?
everything was in German. Yeah, and actually I have 2 half-sisters from my dad's first marriage in Germany. I didn't grow up with them, unfortunately, long story. But, Germany's awesome.
I want to go one day. He's been there, but
Yeah?
I haven't. So
No, you should definitely. Where'd you go?
We landed in Frankfurt,
Right.
and this is in like 1987 or something.
Oh, okay.
But I was a little kid. We mostly we went down to like Switzerland, a little bit of Italy,
Oh, yeah.
and we went through Luxembourg, which we kept going back to Luxembourg to stay there. We really liked it. And we went through Belgium, and then Germany was kind of where we got our, we rented our vehicles from and took
Right.
our flights from, but so we didn't see a lot of Germany, and actually back then it was still east and west.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. Yeah.
So we didn't go there. We didn't go to Berlin, and we didn't
Right.
go to the east at all.
Yeah.
But
No, but you should take her.
yeah, I would
Do it.
really love to go
Yeah.
back.
Do it.
Yeah.
It's so different there now. I'd love to see, and plus there's stuff I'm more interested now in the history than I was as a little kid. Now I'm
Right.
like, oh, I'd see all this World War II stuff, or I'd see all these
Yeah.
homes of composers. There's all
Yeah.
kinds of things I would do when I go back. Let's say when I go back.
Well, if you ever
Yeah.
go to Hamburg, my sisters own a cafe there.
Really?
They have music there so often. Yeah, in
Oh,
Hamburg.
that's
So
cool.
definitely, it's part of the what's that called? Like the stargazing telescope. That thing, Sternwarte in German. Anyways, so if you go, drop them a line.
I will ask you about that.
Yeah,
I'll drop you a line.
no, for sure.
Are their names also on Squiggles on Facebook?
No,
I'm kidding.
They got normal names.
I had to kid with that. Sorry.
No,
His
but-
nickname is Squiggles.
That's how it shows up in the
Yeah.
the
It's-
chat.
Yeah, it's Georgian letters.
Georgian.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was taught. I have some friends, some online friends in Georgia, and I was part of these language learning web pages, and I met some people from Georgia, and then and for fun, I changed it on Facebook to this. I mean, it's my name, but it's in Georgian letters. But apparently now you have to send in IDs and stuff like that if
Really?
you change your name. We've had a few people say that they made up whatever silly names at one point and then now they can't change them back. You know,
Yeah.
Oh, no.
like sending IDs. I don't know. Maybe it's not
Weird.
that complicated. But it's like forget it. Besides, this way everybody knows me as Squiggle. So,
Squiggles.
Yep.
but anyways,
Nice.
Yep.
Okay, Christina, did you have music teachers or?
Yes, I had, well, when I was younger, I had a private violin teacher, and then I was in orchestra in middle school and high school. So yeah, I did have teachers. The most memorable one was definitely in high school, and he threw a microphone stand at a student.
Jeez, really?
And so this guy, I'll say this, he was actually incredibly intelligent. He knew exactly what he was doing musically, but he just flew off the handle too fast. So it was a little, frightening.
Wow.
So that sort of thing.
That's like that movie.
yeah, I was gonna
Whiplash.
say-
Whiplash. Yeah.
I never saw it, but I wonder if it's like loosely based on.
He throws a chair at somebody at one point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there are some people who like made some YouTube cartoon videos like basically about him, totally changing his name backwards and whatever. And like the voice was nothing the same, but they captured all the details of the classroom so you knew exactly where it was at San Clemente
Wow.
High School. So just to name drop the high school, look up the rest if you want to know. So it's a real thing. Very
Neat.
fascinating. But yeah, aside from that, not really. Just just I had I think I've had 3 private violin teachers outside of school, and then just the middle school, high school one. Because 6th, 7th, 8th grade, you stuck with the same person. And then high school, I was with the same person until I moved halfway through my junior year of high school to Fishers, Indiana, and finished high school there. So I was one of the new kids. There was like 3 of us. None of us made the yearbook that year. Like that's how like
Really?
we missed it. Yeah, it's like we
You were
didn't
too late.
exist.
Oh.
It was really strange. So the orchestra teacher there was really nice, but then like it was just funny going from like a strict teacher like be performance ready. Like everyone's like chilled in their seats, like do not make a mistake. Please don't look at me. To like a teacher who's like, oh hey, you guys, we can totally do this, and like someone who's like totally peppy and like it's okay if you make a mistake here and there. Totally different feel entirely. But yeah, those are my experiences in a nutshell.
Two
Just-
teachers.
That actually segues into your next question. Pretty
There we go.
It
Oh,
really
okay.
does. The next
dear.
question is, how do you handle mistakes during a performance?
Oh geez.
Given that what you just said.
Oh no. Do you want to go first? Do you want the real answer? Oh, should I be really honest here?
Yes, honesty.
Oh gosh.
Honesty.
Like self-loathing afterwards.
Oh no.
And like just keep practicing until I get it right. Like that's basically the answer.
She just breaks her violin against the stage floor and runs off crying and
No, not that
hurtles
bad.
into a little ball. This is the 10th violin we're on in the last.
You lie. It's not that bad. No, I mean, definitely the self-loathing, like, oh no, why did I do that? And like, oh, okay, I have to practice the song like 10 million times more. And then, yeah. But,
Well,
I
can I do a backhanded compliment to you?
oh dear, what?
That's okay.
Okay.
Backhanded.
I mean, it's gonna sound bad. I've heard myself say this a few times, and I mean it in a good way. But the thing is, Christina, she doesn't have like, how some people can pick up something and they're just like really good at it, right? And then you have people who have to like practice for like 20 years, whether it's like music or whether it's carpentry or whatever you can think of. Like, Christina doesn't have like a real point of reference. The way she learns is like just by repetition, and half the time she doesn't know what she's doing. And so like if I've ever seen somebody just like heart their way to where they're at, just heart and not quitting, that's Christina.
Yes. Yes.
Like it's not like, well, and here's like four measures and like da-da-da, and then you get the eighth notes. Some people like that, or like some people have perfect pitch and they're like, well, it's a C, F, G, of course, because I can hear it, because it's like, no.
Right.
With her, it's just like, no, it's just like repetition until it's there. Like that's the best way I can put it. I don't know, like where each song takes like very long time because you don't have that point of reference, like like C, F, G, C, F, G. With her, it's like, no, it's like, here is the melody or something, and then she's got it, or somebody who charts it out and like and can follow that. I don't know.
Pictures.
What's that?
I like pictures drawn for
Like
me.
back in the day, she would literally just like write the notes on a notepad, like as a
Right.
D, not like the note D, but just the letter D 14 times or something. And it's like, what does that even mean, Christina?
Sorry.
Like, or whatever, D, 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 F, 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 G, F, 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 G, 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 F,
Wow.
sharp, and it's like, that means nothing. And then, I mean, she's gotten a lot better. Now at least she can kind of, I've taught her that thing where like, okay, so this interval, how this song goes, okay, well that's a quarter, you got knocking on, Smells Like Teen Spirit,
Right.
you hear that, that's a quarter, you hear, that's a fifth, so you think of whatever song that, you have a fifth or, a third, like, I don't know, like Twist and Shout, a third, you know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
she's getting better. At least she's learning a lot faster now. It's not so like, well, no, it's a D to A to B flat. The song that goes D to A to whatever, like. So, anyways, that's where I was. I mean, I know it sounds backhanded. It sounds bad, but I admire Christina and her way of learning.
He's so patient.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. The only thing that's really come naturally ever is just doing art. So, I mean, that's never been a problem, but everything else, like, I don't know, my brother, he failed a grade just because he didn't like the teacher for, like, Spanish or something, and I was like, you idiot. Like, if you want... If you're upset about something, you do it incredibly well. Not like, oh, well, I don't feel like it just because I don't like the teacher. Like, you're just shooting yourself in the... You know what I mean? Like, so I have, like, my brother who, like, automatically A's without even trying. And I'm here, like, okay, I'm getting A's and B's. My parents are like, what about that B in science? Don't ask me about that. No, look at my A's. Look, I did something else, right? So, I'm trying, I swear. Like...
Sorry, what was your question again?
Oh gosh.
How do you handle mistakes?
How do you do it?
Yeah, your turn now.
Well, when I was...
I don't make any. No.
What mistakes?
Exactly. No, I remember when I was younger, I would get really frustrated and I would like, I don't know, make faces and curse, and that would just like give me the mental block to like make more mistakes because now I'm just focused on the previous one. I think now it's more, I don't know, just make a weird face and laugh.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, I can tell, and it's like it rarely happens. So
It's
what
just
it
'cause we
does.
usually wind up having too much fun. I think this
Right.
is pretty much a live show, but we play a couple of songs each set, but the rest of the time we're just yapping. We kind of forget what we're doing. Anyways.
It's fun.
Nice.
Oh, wait, what was the point of that question that we're supposed to like inspire people? Is that what it was?
Well,
don't know.
We just totally made it
self-loathing,
about like
definitely.
Self-loathing. That's actually a first. We like to compare kind of the different answers because we ask everybody the same questions.
Right.
So we
Yeah.
like to
Okay,
see
I
what
see.
different people say, but we've never heard that before.
It is as honest as I could get.
Most people are like, "Oh, I just go past it, pretend like it didn't happen or something."
Yeah. Well,
You
that's
know?
probably the most professional thing to do. But
Yeah.
Right,
But-
because who notices in the audience?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
like,
Pretend it didn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine. Keep the face image like, oh, everything's great, but inwardly
Yes.
you're dying on the inside.
Dying.
Like, no, shouldn't have happened. I know better by now, hopefully.
I think with Christina is, I don't know if you've noticed this. I don't know if the listeners have noticed that, but she tends to laugh at everything. So that's one of the things she does at mistake. She just starts laughing and starts giggling on stage. So that just shifts attention to her.
Oh my gosh.
That's, don't take a chapter out of Christina's book, kids. If you want to learn a musical instrument,
jeez.
do not do what Christina does. Do the complete opposite.
Example of what not to do.
Exactly.
Oh gosh, it's still useful somehow, I guess. Okay, someone has to be in that spot. I can do it. That's fine. Okay, what's the other question?
All right, so the next question, whoever wants to answer it first can, is do you get nervous before performing?
Oh, I used to a lot. I mean, this is definitely the first time I've actually really performed in front of people. Like for like the past year when we started doing gigs, because in orchestra you're with other people. You don't want to stand out unless you're doing a solo or you're doing like a major mistake and like bowing against the rhythm of everyone else. You know, then you're like,
Right.
oh snap, where are we? Right. That basically says you're lost in the sheet music. But
Question was, do you ever get nervous? It
Yes.
wasn't sheet music.
no.
Stick to the
Hey, I'm answering how I
Get
want
there
to.
fast.
Okay, sorry. But I used to a lot and then started doing open mics. That really
Yeah.
helped a lot because everyone's so like encouraging and nice
I
there.
got another Christina story about that.
Oh dear.
Like when she first started singing, it would literally be like, you know, you get the mic and then it's like, okay, sound test. Christina, say something. What am I supposed to say? Christina, you have to say something. We're testing your mic. I don't know what to say. Like, literally, she would get tongue-tied in testing the mic.
I've only been singing for a year, and that happened literally because our third member didn't show up to a show, just didn't want to play anymore, and so Santiago looked over at me. He's like, "So you're gonna learn how to sing now?" Like, oh, that's great. Like, if you want to keep doing music, that's fine, but we have to make more sound, so you're gonna have to sing. No, I don't sing. Well, now you do. So, all right, let's start. Like,
Christina
that's
used to be very shy. That was the short version. But yeah, I don't know. Like, what?
how about you?
Yeah, I mean, oddly enough, it does still have. I don't know, and it's random too. Like where my brain just freezes more so than anything. I can't.
Really?
Yeah, I can't. I can't. It's not very often anymore. But I think when we first started doing shows, as I said, I hadn't played for a very long time. I think back then, the first few months, it was very I was very nervous, and I'm doing air quotes for the listener that can't see. But I was nervous in that my brain was just like going a mile a second, you know, just trying to wrap my head around things and the chords and the structures and the talking between songs, and that went away. And today, every so often, it just so happens that my brain just freezes up, and then for like a song or two, it's like I can't remember lyrics or chords or just like, you know.
Oh, really?
But then that goes away. I mean, yeah, I guess because we do tend to play out relatively often, so you know it's mainly just repetition by now. It's boring.
I feel like it's better when you play more because it's like it's like, you know, when you exercise, if you stop for a while and then you get back, you're just like
Yeah.
already like much harder to jump back in. Like
Yeah, so it's probably just
it's
that.
it's
Yeah.
basically like that.
Yeah.
So like ever so slightly, just a little bit here and there, but when I'm actually on stage, it's not nearly as bad as it was a year ago. That's a fact.
Yeah, I know now you can't stop yapping.
Hey.
As is evident.
Well, you still talk a lot. I have to jump in sometimes.
Yeah. No, that's true. We complement each other quite good with that. That's true. But yeah, I remember, when we did the first couple of gigs, and as those were technically my first gigs in a very, very long time, I remember we just rushed through all the songs. We didn't say anything between songs.
Right.
It was like literally like being 14 again, where you're just like, we gotta play, and then you're just like, okay, goodbye everyone. You know?
Hi, bye. I hope you enjoyed it.
Like,
You're
that
right.
was the
Don't ask
first
me my
couple of shows that we did. That's true. That's interesting. Anyways, yeah, and now she's much more relaxed. Now the opposite is true.
I've never been this confident in front of people ever. So
Really?
like, yeah,
Oh,
no,
congratulations.
yeah. I'm used to hiding behind others. Yay! So it's a lot of fun. It really is. So, is there any other questions or?
Oh, yeah, there's more questions.
Oh, okay.
You ask one more and then we'll go to break.
I will ask one more and let's go to break. So we're at, what advice would you give to a beginning musician?
Don't.
Give up now.
Done. Yeah.
There's no point. No.
Gosh.
No, I would definitely, definitely like practice and rehearsal is more important than you think. Don't, just because you don't get it the first time, that's, you know, don't give up. Even if you don't get it after like the 100th time or the 1000th time, you know, there's some people just need more time. Find your way of learning. Some people are more audio, you know, like we were talking
Yeah.
about people with perfect pitch or whatever, or better here. It doesn't even have to be perfect pitch. Some people are more visual, so learning notes or making notes, even if it's your own note take. Find the way that you learn. Find your pattern in learning, whether, you know, whether you learn 40,000 songs and so you learn to hear all the different chord progressions, or just practicing so much that you're hand to eye and ear coordination will tell you what the next note is supposed to be, things like that. I think that's probably the best, because I think that's what I know what helped Christina was just finding her way of learning. I think that's probably
Yeah.
more important. Like, don't necessarily look at just like, oh, because so and so learned this way, or because so and so plays that way, or because, you know what I mean, just find your own way of, because everybody learns different. You know, I think that's same with, you know, I mean, teaching myself languages and things like that. I've learned that, you know, just a lot of people learn very different, and I think you just have to find your way. I know that was probably the most boring answer we've given all night, but
It's true though.
but yeah, like that's what it comes down. Like, don't give up just because, you know, the whatever guitar teacher can't seem to get through to you because of their style is a certain way or whatever. You know what I mean? I mean, there are obviously some universal rules, like name of notes and keys and things like that. Like, don't call him Z or whatever. It's gonna be Z, or, I mean, or whatever.
Study
or
the basics.
Or what was it? Phoebe Buffet with her, like, oh, it's the claw. We obviously chords have
Right.
names, but in terms of how you actually learn them, you know, like, find your own. I think that's probably the best. You know, find your own strength, find your own path. You know.
Yeah.
Some people are slow and steady, some people are very fast, and some people are more visual or whatever, or some people are more hands-on, you know. I think that's even that's boring.
But it's
Go ahead,
true.
Christina.
It's true.
Say
Well,
something,
I
say
would also
something
say,
funny, Christina.
I
Come on.
was gonna say, like, don't be afraid to try new things. Funny enough, like, you know, the song that is intimidating you, just keep practicing and keep at it. Like,
Right.
because if you give up, then you're never gonna learn it. It's not very funny, but it's honest.
Funnier than mine.
It's true.
Everything you say is funny. It's
Gosh, I have a fan right here. Wow. Gosh. But yeah, just go for it. Seriously, go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, that's right. Do it.
What is
Do
the?
it.
Yeah,
Do it.
just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Shia LaBeouf.
right.
Just do it.
Right.
Nice.
What's the next one?
I think we got a break.
Oh,
Break
that's right.
time. We're gonna listen to some music.
Sure.
11.
No, I'm over 6 feet tall.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a tall.
It is tall.
Okay. You guys are rolling.
Cool. All right.
Okay. Ready?
This song is called James. It's on our EP, Our Oasis. Headed back home, 3 years too long. Roller coaster trip up to the north. Goodbyes are bittersweet, and now you're gone. Hotter than July, cooling up outside. Guitar in a coverall to pass the time. Rolling your own to save a dime. I just wanna say I miss my friends. Can't wait till the day that I get to. I hope I get to see him again. Crazy idea, my mind was clear. You wanted to go up on the ice. There's a river down below, so think twice. So I put on my coat, went out for a while. That's when the idea came on my own. So we jumped that seal so we could know. I just wanna say I miss my friends. Can't wait till the day that I get to. I hope I get to see him again. fire and a song as the night settles in. A night's cold swimming, then we'll wander in. Headed back home, 3 years too long. Roller coaster trip up to the north. Goodbyes are bittersweet, and now you're gone.
Should we do it again because of the thing? And then I kept like.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
fine.
what
No,
about the?
That's the worst spot in the.
I know.
it's the train. Whatever.
What about the train?
We gotta-
So,
All right, so Santiago,
here we go.
what is your favorite decade in music?
Oh dear. Wow, that's a good question. Oh, Christina.
Oh, don't. I mean, you have a lot of '90s influences.
Well,
but
yeah,
that's-
if you mean like my influence as well, of course, because I grew up, more sort of late '80s, early '90s.
that was just a cheap
but-
answer. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's what
But
you
in
say all
terms
the
of,
time.
but yeah, there was like, once you start digging into music and music history, you find so much out there. Wow, that's. I mean, I would say, yeah. I mean, the simple answer, like let's say '60s, because that's one of those that everybody.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
survived a very long time, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good stuff.
But I then I like the flamboyantness of like the '70s and '80s, the cheesiness,
The cheesiness.
Oh,
Do you have a favorite decade or?
Oh gosh, it's like impossible to answer that. There's like too many good songs from so many different years in the span. Like
no, it's because you don't know what bands did what song.
Stop.
The Beatles sang Mrs. Robinson and stuff like.
Hey,
You know,
I'm going straight back.
The '40s, Nirvana were really good in the '40s.
You jerk. Gosh,
the-
I mean, I love
Bon Jovi,
I-
he's from the
I
'50s,
love
right?
a
Bon
lot of
Jovi.
80s, like, I mean, if I'm going for more like, like not classical music stuff, like, I really like the 80s a lot. That's the stuff I grew up listening to with my
Yeah,
anything
she does like Oingo Boingo.
Yeah, and Duran Duran, yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I guess the names that are like
that's
this.
as '80s as it gets.
Yeah, basically. So, that's what you're such a jerk.
We have a
He's
lot
right.
of fun.
Stop it.
We have a lot of fun conversations in the car on our long trips.
Oh dear.
I can only imagine what it must be like if anybody else ever was to travel with us. I don't think we'd make it farther than like I don't know exit 65, and they're like, get us out of here.
That's it. We're done. You guys are too annoying.
You guys ever
Shut
stop
up.
talking? Seriously?
Bring lots of music to listen to and headphones.
Headphones.
Noise canceling type, preferably. Anyways, what was your
Okay.
question again?
Right? I think it was
Oh,
answered.
here we go.
I would ask you guys, okay, what were you
There we go.
like in high school?
Oh, you don't want to know.
Like in high school.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't speak for you.
What were
but-
we like?
Yeah.
What were you like in high school?
Oh,
You don't want
jeez.
to know.
Shy person? like,
When
I'm-
did you graduate? When did you guys graduate?
Oh, jeez.
Did you graduate?
No,
Am I calling you
Yeah,
out?
high school for sure. Yeah, 2011.
I'm still technically in high school. I just never did my
Nice.
final exam. No, I don't.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I guess 98 technically, but that's because the school system works slightly different in Europe. And you, I
Yeah,
guess.
2011.
There
High
you
school.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. What were we like when we were 18? Full of hopes and dreams. No. I mean, actually, 18. No, that was when I moved and I finished high school in Indiana. So everything was
You got
different.
married like a week after almost.
No, 2. No, no, I kidding. I got married when I was 20. It was like that was an interesting part of my life because I literally moved away from everyone I knew, and I finished high school in a completely different high school, not just like a different part of California, but like completely different states, Indiana. So it was like I just had this entire sense of like loss all the whole time, and everyone's like really nice there. But like, guy, if you don't know someone since you were both in elementary school, then you're not gonna be friends. They'll be like, yeah, we'll hang out, and then hey, do you want to hang out? It's like silence. Oh, okay, just because I didn't grow up with you. I'm sorry. That's my sin, I guess. It was very interesting. There were still some really cool people, but it was so difficult to like connect with people, and like all of us new kids were the ones that kind of had our own group, you know. We were like the weird ones since we didn't exist technically in the yearbook and whatever. So it was fascinating, very fascinating. And then I could have, like, if I had pursued swimming, because I was on the swim team for years too, if I had pursued that, I could have done a swimming scholarship. But when we moved, I technically helped my parents move with my money from working.
So how were you when you graduated?
Well,
That was the question.
Well,
Not your life
I'm
story.
sorry. Okay, but I mean, I was just more work oriented and focused. So it was like I gave up
There you go.
swimming and
Thank
all
you.
that. So
Thank you,
sorry.
Christina.
So you're a worker. You're working.
Sorry. Okay. Well, at least I'm talking. I'm not saying nothing, right?
Oh, we're waiting for you
Sound
to stop
test.
talking.
Sound test. Say something.
We were waiting for you to stop talking.
Okay, go ahead. Your turn. You answer. Go. Go.
No, but it's funny because I was gonna bring the conversation down a little bit. I was gonna be the what's
The
it-
Debbie
what's-
Downer?
Yeah, the Debbie
Debbie
Downer.
Downer.
I remember I was very angsty and very negative, and my outlook on life was very, very negative. And looking back, and I think a lot of people have that. You think that in high school, like because you're not popular, like that's it. Like because you're like the down and out loser, whatever. Like that's it. Life's gonna be like this forever. And if anything,
yeah.
I would probably say that. Well, I know I would for sure say that in life I've learned that as you go on in life, as you get older, like me and Red Monk here, we're a little bit older, a little bit more experienced. Like you realize, like, I mean, apart if you've done maybe very serious mistakes in life, but life does get better, and like you have all these opportunities that at 18, 19, you don't realize you do. At that age, it's like, well, I'm a loser. That's it. Like you think
Right.
You
It's
think
easy
that
to get
that's
defined.
yeah. And then all it takes is just like because I moved away and I moved to Canada and stuff like that, and then it's like, oh, it's a whole new life. It's a whole new reality here. Like I can make of it what I please. Like you're not defined because you were the whatever in high school. Like that's it. I mean, I suppose maybe if you stay in the same environment with the exact same people, I don't know how common that is now with the internet and
Right.
and being so cheap to travel and things like that. I mean, even just traveling, you go on holiday and the whole new perspective on things. That's a miniature version of what life could be like. You just just get yourself out of this comfort zone, out of this the things that and something good or bad will inevitably come out of that, which could then lead to something good or bad, which could then lead to what I mean. Like, does that make any
Yeah.
sense?
It does.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Anyways, all right, do something funny, Christina. Come on,
My
let's
God.
pick it up.
I'm not just a shtick sidekick, That's not my role.
When life gives you lemons, you start squirting them at Christina because she will inevitably start laughing.
What? That's the lamest song you've ever made.
Song?
You said it in a weird way. Okay, whatever.
So
Next question.
where's your favorite place to eat?
Oh dear.
Oh, anything with Mexican or Asian food. I grew up in California, and that's what you grow up on. Mexican food or Asian food, or both. And anything with that, I'm all over it. So, Casa Mexico is great. It's the closest thing to an actual Mexican food joint here. Sorry, Paradiso, it's not the same. So, Casa Mexico, that's in Grand Forks. We're in Pargo, that's right. But yeah,
Casa
that
Mexico.
place, that's
Yeah, I don't-
legitly
I don't know that
awesome.
one.
Is that a chain? Or...
I don't know. But yeah, it's actually in East Grand Forks. So
Oh, okay.
I go there to satisfy my Mexican food cravings aside from making my own steak nachos. So that's is that. And then Little Bangkok's really good too. Like but I would be referencing things in California otherwise, which no one would really get unless
Yeah,
you've
no,
been there.
I think we're meant to
So-
keep it local.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's Grand Forks is still close
People
enough.
like, Giovanni's in Rome. Have you ever been there?
Flame jumper in California, and yeah, that one restaurant in
The best
Disneyland.
bratwurst go to Hamburgstrasse in Berlin, and
Right.
like, okay.
Itchaberries, San Clemente. Yeah, totally Japanese steakhouse, best. Okay, so yeah,
What's the best local place in town for like stuff here? I mean, we're not,
There's so many restaurants here, it's ridiculous.
but like local,
But
like not You know, I mean, like,
Well, like not chain.
yeah, or something that's like even semi. I mean, Rhombus guys, are they technically from Grand Forks? Or are they technically from here?
They started in Grand Forks, I think.
They are okay. So they are okay. So
I
then, what would
believe
be, what would be a locally owned thing
Um,
that we should try?
With spice, lots of spice.
I mean, no,
Lots of
no, 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 no,
spice.
no, no,
Oh, okay,
don't, just
okay.
anything.
Fine.
Whether it's
Well,
Italian, whether it's
sigh.
Chinese, whether
I
whatever.
really like Snapdragon's Chinese buffet.
Oh, okay.
It's off at 8th and something. But
Snapdragons.
yeah,
Gotta
they
remember
they
that.
close from like 3 to 5 to
Okay.
shift the lunch to dinner. But
Oh, okay.
I like Snapdragon
Yeah.
a lot.
Gotta remember that.
That sounds really
Right.
good.
Yeah. Well, we went to a Thai place with our friend Jake Ingemar.
Yeah. Oh, there's the subtle
Is he the
shout
one?
out.
The microphone.
Yeah.
Yes.
And shout out to Jake,
Thanks, Jake.
Ingemar. Without him, this show would not have been possible.
Or-
Well, we would have had to share a mic, but anyways.
Right.
Thanks for holding him on. Anyways, yeah, I can't remember. It was like some Thai place. Oh,
If I looked
dear.
at my
I
phone,
like that
I
place.
could probably.
Anyways, there's a Thai place in town that's good.
Crystal
I like that
would
one.
know.
There's another shout out.
Yeah, right.
Jerry likes Thai.
What's that?
Jerry likes Thai.
We should go for Thai. So you probably know which one we're talking about. It looks fancy when you're inside. I'm trying to think. It's like a strip mall with
Sakura? Or something like that?
No.
No? You
it's
sure?
like it was a Thai place. Sakura wouldn't it be more Japanese?
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. There's so many places named that.
I want to say it's by like it looks like like an industrial area, and then there's like a strip mall. There's like a what's that called, the Caribou coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
is he thinking about the one that's next to Flatland?
Could be.
Himalayan Yak?
Himalayan Yak.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's the one everybody mentions on here.
I feel
We've
like
had several people.
I feel like
mention
it's like a famous one again with the air quotes, but because if I feel like it was when we went there, it was like, oh, that place, yeah, of course, okay, and then we like Googled it and found it or whatever, but so yeah, it's probably I'm bad with names, so I'm gonna
can't
go with
remember.
that place, which name I can't remember and vaguely know the directions.
Nice.
That way.
That's pretty precise.
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate.
You drive down the
visit.
street and make a left. Sorry. go ahead.
Your other left.
Peter, you want to ask the last question?
Oh, we're already at the last question.
We're at the last question, and it's the most important one.
Oh, dear.
I know you guys have a CD, at least one, right?
Yeah.
So how can fans gain access to your music?
Oh, well, yeah, CD baby, right?
and
CD baby.
Bandcamp
Bandcamp.
or at shows.
Yeah, we bring CDs to our shows. It's called our Oasis. It's our first EP. It's kind
Okay.
of more like a singer-songwriter folky feel. It's the most simplified one we're gonna make
We
because
call
it's
it campfire.
yeah, campfire themes.
Campfire themes.
Campfire warbly songs. Warm
Nice.
and
You-
bubbly.
Yeah, when you hear it, it'll probably make sense. In that they're very simple and it's very simplistic instrumentation. It's
It's as
It's
close to
l-
what we actually sound like live.
Yeah,
As
it's a good point.
possible.
Cool.
Just a few little
and
claps for some songs.
it was just laziness.
No, it's not laziness.
We just needed to get
what
something
literally
on
happened
print
was
and-
we met so many amazing people with EPs, and they kept giving us CDs. So I have this huge collection in my car, and we're like, well, we need to make an EP to hand out to people too. Let's make this happen. And several months later, this happened, our Oasis. So
Oh, cool.
I did the artwork for it and whatever, but we basically made it happen. We record most of the songs at Santiago's place because he has the Roland.
I have a little
thing.
portable Roland.
Oh, nice.
Well, they're old school now, but it was one of those first, second generation digital ones. That's quite a few tracks and stuff, but
And then our attorney helped us with some too.
oh yeah, then
Yeah.
we have the same lawyer and he has a studio and he's
Oh, wow.
recorded some stuff, and then
Yeah.
we've recorded our friend Sean Alter.
Yes. Yep.
They have a really cool band called Gelida. They're out of Minneapolis. I'm trying to think where else we would have recorded. I don't know. It was very quick. It was really slapped together. But I mean, yeah, it's always sound like live, and there's not a lot of overdubs. There's not a lot of layers. It's just literally guitar, violin, and the two harmonies, and the uke.
Yep. The uke was
And I think that's pretty
and then
much.
claps
The- yeah,
for the
couple
last
of-
two songs.
Couple,
Yeah.
couple songs have claps in them, but yeah, literally the kind of stuff you could perform around the campfire. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Project Constellation.
Yeah.
And then,
us.
can you guys maybe send me a link for your CD baby or whatever?
yeah.
Maybe I could put it with the with the thing.
You'll
you know?
find it on the book face for sure.
We'll definitely give you the link. Yeah.
Trades.
Okay.
Make it easy for you.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we'll
Just send me
for
an
sure, yeah.
send me a message with that. That'd be cool. But
Yeah.
oh, this is awesome. You guys are fun.
Oh, thanks.
too.
You
So much
guys are,
fun.
That's
you guys
fun
are
being
cool. Thanks for inviting us.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming.